In the far reaches of the galaxy, on a distant planet called Viridian 7, a shocking event was about to unfold. The Galactic Council, an interstellar body that governed peace and order across countless worlds, was known for its strict laws. One of the most sacred laws was the protection of apex predators across different planets, creatures so dangerous and fierce that they were untouchable to any species, even the bravest warriors. On Viridian 7, the apex predator was a monstrous creature known as the Gorath. Towering over 10 feet tall, with thick, armored skin and razor-sharp claws, the Gorath was the nightmare of anyone who dared to wander too close to its territory. For centuries, no species had dared challenge the Gorath, and it was considered the ultimate symbol of power on Viridian 7. The Galactic Council had always been cautious about these apex predators, and any form of contact with them was forbidden. No one was allowed to approach, let alone interact with them. The law was simple. The predators were to be left in peace, for they were feared and revered by all who knew of them. But then came a human named Ethan. Ethan was not a typical representative of Earth. Unlike the other diplomats, soldiers, and explorers, Ethan was a simple man with a curious mind and a heart full of compassion. He had spent years traveling across different planets, studying alien species and learning their ways. He had a deep respect for life in all forms and believed that even the most dangerous creatures deserved understanding. His journey had brought him to Viridian 7, where he had learned of the infamous Gorath. Most of the planet's inhabitants avoided the creature at all costs. But Ethan saw something different. He saw intelligence behind the beast's glowing eyes, a strange sadness in the way it moved. Something told him that the Gorath wasn't just a mindless killer. Perhaps it was misunderstood. Ethan was determined to uncover the truth. He had heard rumors of an ancient, forgotten ritual that allowed the creatures of Viridian 7 to form bonds with apex predators, creating a unique harmony between species. It was a rare, almost mythical event, but Ethan was willing to try. He wasn't afraid. The day he decided to take the risk, the Galactic Council was holding an important meeting. The Council was discussing new policies to keep the galaxy's peace, unaware that a human on Viridian 7 was about to make history. Ethan prepared carefully, gathering supplies and studying the Gorath's behavior for days. He learned how to move quietly and how to show no signs of aggression. The key, he believed, was to earn the creature's trust. On the fateful day, Ethan ventured deep into the Gorath's territory, following the trail of massive footprints in the thick, jungle-like forest. His heart raced with excitement and fear, but he didn't turn back. As he reached a clearing, there it was, the Gorath. It was even more terrifying up close, its deep red eyes locking onto Ethan as it let out a low growl. Ethan didn't flinch. He knelt down slowly, extending his hand in a peaceful gesture. He had read that apex predators, despite their aggression, respected calmness. For a long moment, the Gorath stared at him, its massive chest rising and falling with each breath. Ethan's heart pounded in his chest, but he kept his hand steady. Slowly, the creature moved closer, his claws scraping the ground as it crouched. A low, rumbling growl echoed through the air, but Ethan stayed still. Then something unexpected happened. The Gorath sniffed Ethan's hand, its cold reptilian nose brushing against his skin. It wasn't a threat. It was curious. Ethan gently reached up, touching the creature's thick, armored skin. The Gorath didn't lash out. It allowed the touch, and for a brief, magical moment, the two creatures, human and predator, shared a silent connection. Ethan smiled, feeling the tension between them dissolve. He had done it. He had reached the Gorath. Back on the Galactic Council's flagship, news of the event spread like wildfire. Members of the Council were in disbelief when they received reports of the human who had approached the apex predator and, against all odds, had not only survived but had earned its trust. The Council had always believed that these apex creatures were beyond redemption, incapable of peaceful interaction. The thought that a single human had managed to connect with one of the deadliest beasts in the galaxy was not only shocking but deeply troubling. What is the meaning of this? One of the council members, a sharp-eyed Zarnakian, questioned angrily. This human, This Earthling has disrespected the sacred laws. We cannot allow this. We are certain it was an accident. Another member, a quiet Aelorian, replied. The Goreth has shown no signs of aggression. Perhaps this human has found something we haven't understood. The law is clear, the Zarnakian insisted. No species is to interact with an apex predator. If this continues, we risk chaos. Who is to say that other species won't attempt the same? The balance of power will be destroyed. The debate raged on as the council members argued. Yet, in the midst of it all, one voice remained calm. I've seen what this human has done, said a wise, elderly Drachian who had served the council for over 5 centuries. Perhaps it is time to rethink our approach. What if the true power lies not in dominance, but in understanding? The council fell silent. The words hung in the air, challenging their long-held beliefs. Meanwhile, back on Viridian 7, Ethan sat beside the Goreth, brushing its thick fur-like coat. The creature no longer growled or hissed at him. It was peaceful now, content in the quiet company of the human. The bond had been formed, and it was something neither the creature nor Ethan could explain, but it was real. In that moment, Ethan realized something important. True power wasn't about fear or control, it was about connection. If humans could show such courage and compassion, maybe there was hope for the galaxy after all. News of the peaceful interaction spread throughout the galaxy, and while the Galactic Council remained divided on the issue, the incident sparked a new era of understanding between species. And for the first time in history, the apex predator of Viridian 7 was no longer feared. Instead, it was respected, just as the human who had befriended it was. Ethan had achieved the impossible, not by defeating the Goreth, but by befriending it. And in doing so, he had shaken the very foundation of the Galactic Council's beliefs. The galaxy was never the same again.